Konoha, compared to the video, you're the greenest ninja in the world. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 126 Uchiha Fugaku, am I a servant of Aike too? Sarutobi Hiruzen shook his head and said, no, it's Aike, Aike. Uchiha Fugaku froze. It turned out to be Aike, that Aike who insisted on joining Anbu. He's the one who changed Sarutobi Hiruzen's mind. When Uchiha Shiso and Aike came to him before, Uchiha Fugaku's mind was on Shiso. He didn't care about Aike, who was like a little transparent next to him. Didn't expect Aike to do what the Uchiha people couldn't do. And at this time everyone's eyes fell on Aike, who was like a transparent person. The audience in the live broadcast room all praised Aike's wit Deidara, as expected of Master Aike. He is so handsome, Anoki. The conflict between Uchiha and the village was easily resolved without a single soldier. Fourth Raikage, there are still hidden dangers. After all, Danzo is still there, but he can't make any troubles anymore. Hidden, looking at it this way, the people in Uchiha are too stupid, right? Did it even think of such a simple question? Uchiha Fugaku, ashamed, Uchiha Iron Tree, it's all Shiso and Itachi's fault. Shiso, this guy has such a strong pupil skill, but he didn't tell us. Instead he told outsiders 347 Senju Hashirama. Although the method is not too bright, it at least solves the problem in the village. Senju Tabirama, almost forgot, monkey. Danzo. Where is my Senju clan? Third Raikage, your Senju clan was exhausted in the previous few battles. Orochimaru, I didn't notice it at the time, but now that I think about it, it really makes people shudder. Naruto, it's alright now, Uchiha has reconciled with the village, and Sasuke won't be an orphan. Sasuke, you kid Uchiha Madara, how? This is just the beginning. How could my brother Aike stop here, in the Pure Land? Uchiha Madara is full of confidence. He already has a honeyed confidence in Aike, no matter what Aike's status is, no matter how Aike's growth environment is. Aike always moves towards a goal that is to unify the ninja world and let the ninja world gain peace. Although the means may be drastic, some people will always be sacrificed, but I have to say that Uchiha Madara feels a sense of satisfaction every time he sees Aike accomplishing his goal. After all, this is different from his fake plan that was fooled by others. Aike really did it to make the ninja world peaceful. I really want to meet you in person, my lord. This way, we can work together to make the world a better place. Uchiha Madara's eyes were full of pity, and somewhere in the Pure Land Senju Hashirama, who was also staying in the Pure Land, suddenly touched his chest. Just for a moment, he felt his heart was empty. It was as if something important had slipped away. But what exactly is it? Forget it. If you can't think of it, don't think about it. Let's see what Aike is going to do next. Chapter 127 To strengthen Uchiha Madara. You can marry and have children at the age of 8. In the end, Orochimaru didn't show up to voice his guesses either. If you were slapped in the face after speaking out, it would be too painful. After all, there are too many people in the live broadcast room, and the whole ninja world is watching. If you are slapped in the face, you will be ashamed of an adult. So Orochimaru chose to look first in the video. The screen suddenly changed a more familiar scene impressively. It is the gathering place of the Uchiha clan, but last time it was only men, but this time, all men, women and children were summoned. All the Uchiha clan was excited and confused. What is exciting is that Konoha's senior management openly lowered their proud heads to them. What is puzzling is why all the clansmen were called here. Except for the newly born baby, all of them were called here. The Uchiha people in the audience talked a lot on stage. Uchiha Fugaku raised a hand suddenly, the noisy voice gradually subsided, and the whole room was suddenly silent. Then, Uchiha Fugaku said slowly, yesterday, after a lot of hard work, finally through the efforts of Aike, peace came to us again. The group of proud high-ranking Konohas also bowed their heads to us, but we can't let that slack off. His sudden turning point immediately stunned the clansmen who were about to leave to show their smiles. Peace comes, but it doesn't last. Outside the village, there are still many enemies waiting for us at Ring 25, so we're going to be stronger than we are now. Stronger than ever when Uchiha Madara was around, until we become greater than ever. Listening to the oath shouted by Uchiha Fugaku, all the people of the Uchiha tribe burst into blood, and their blood rushed to the sky. Let's be great. Make Uchiha even greater. Make Uchiha great again. Let's be great again. The clansmen shouted excitedly, echoing Uchiha Fugaku's oath. Subsequently, Uchiha Fugaku raised his hands, and the clansmen immediately stopped shouting and looked at him with excited eyes, waiting for Uchiha Fugaku's guidance. Uchiha Fugaku said slowly, "And to achieve this achievement, it will inevitably take a lot of time. The first thing that must be done is to increase our manpower, so, starting today, any child who is 8 years old can marry and have children with his peers. If there is already a child in the family, another child must be born. As long as it is born, the clan will reward you a lot. All children, regardless of qualifications, must receive an elite education. I will lead the team myself, and all the Jonin will do their best to teach them. Every time you give birth to a child, you will get a reward of 100,000 taels. If the number of children in the family is even, you will be rewarded 1,000,000 taels. In order for the Uchiha clan to live forever and be great forever, it must have a larger population. Next, please have a lot of experience." Chapter 128. Don't just let the filial son go. Uchiha Shisu was all smiles as he approached It's a world of difference from a year ago. Aike, good morning, Quan, attached room. Uchiha Shisu greeted the two with a smile. Aike looked up, saw Uchiha Shisu and said, "It's early too, District, Senior. Shisu, good morning." Uchiha Izumi greeted him politely. Uchiha Shisu nodded, and then turned his head to look at the situation in the clan field, feeling very moved. "I really didn't expect that the clan land would become so lively. There are also more children," Aike said. "After all, the patriarch has already issued an order." Uchiha Shisu couldn't help but rolled his eyes. "Return the patriarch's order? Isn't that what you asked Uchiha Fugaku to order?" Yet thinking of Uchiha Fugaku, Uchiha Shisu thought of someone who gave him a headache. Well, Uchiha Shisu sighed, looked in the direction of Uchiha Fugaku's house, and said, "It's been a year, and that fellow Itachi is still not married." Aike frowned slightly and said, "You know, although he is the son of the patriarch, his elbow has never been facing us." Uchiha Shisu said with a sad face, "If this continues, I'm really afraid Itachi will go astray." Aike said with a sneer, "He has already embarked on a road of no return, and he is sprinting in at a speed of 100 meters. You and I can't stop him at all. In short, let's keep an eye on him first. If he dares to have any thoughts that are not good for the clan, he can only let the patriarch kill his relatives righteously." Uchiha Shisu sighed and nodded helplessly. The screen changed, transferred to an office somewhere in the Hokage building. Konoha high-level F4 gathered among them. Uchiha Kaoru and Madara Hamura looked sad and seemed to be facing a very difficult situation. Danzo had a gloomy face, and stared at Sarutobi Hirozen with one eye. Sarutobi Hirozen, on the other hand, was sipping on his cigarette pipe leisurely, his face full of contentment. After taking another deep breath, Sarutobi Hirozen looked at Danzo. "Tell me, what's the matter with me this time?" "What's the matter?" Danzo said viciously. "Just because of your inexplicable actions a year ago, the situation in Uchiha is completely out of control now. Do you know how many Uchiha's children have been added this year?" Sarutobi Hirozen said cheerfully. "Isn't it better to increase the number of people? Uchiha is a big family of our Konoha, which is equivalent to our facade. Naturally, the more people, the better." Uchiha Kaoru was taken aback and said, "Hirozen, are you out of your mind? That's Uchiha. It's Nadame who alerted us to Uchiha." Madara Hamura also said worriedly, "If you continue to let them go on like this, I'm afraid the whole Konoha will fall under their control. The potential of the Uchiha clan is really too strong." Danzo stood up and said, "If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels." Chapter 129. Shocking. Uchiha Itachi is reduced to a family servant. Uchiha Itachi cursed inwardly that his vigilance had become worse. At the same time, he looked at the two people on the opposite side with a full face of wariness. "Why are you following me?" Uchiha Itachi repeated. Aike said with a sneer, "Can't you guess?" Uchiha Shisu looked at Uchiha Itachi with a complicated expression, but didn't speak. Uchiha Itachi said with a sinking heart, "It seems that my identity has been exposed. I think my disguise is good. When did I expose it?" Aike continued to sneer. "You guess." Uchiha Shisu looked at Uchiha Itachi with a heartbroken face. "Why Peace has been restored between the village and Uchiha. Why do you continue to be a spy for the Uchiha clan, when the life of the Uchiha clan is booming, but you can't see the good of the Uchiha clan? Are you still a member of the Uchiha clan? Uchiha Itachi said calmly, I'm also part of the village, so I can't just sit and watch the Uchiha clan become bigger and stronger. After making this group of guys who only know how to kill stronger, it will only bring more deaths. For the sake of future peace, the power of the Uchiha clan cannot continue to expand. The huge influence and powerful strength will give birth to the Uchiha clan's undue ambitions. Uchiha Shisu looked at the unrepentant Uchiha Itachi with a face full of surprise, holding his chest in pain. You are the son of the patriarch, and you don't care about the Uchiha clan at all. The audience in the live broadcast room also scolded one after another. Fourth Raikage. I have never seen such a brazen person. Anoki, Sarutobi Re 957 really raised a good dog. Kaguya Sakuta, if this kind of guy appears in our group, he will definitely be skinned by cramps, and then exposed to the sun for 3 days. Finally, he will be chopped up and fed to the dogs. Luoshak, I think this is all for him. For traitors, no punishment is too much. Scorpion, this kind of guy, even making it into a puppet is too dirty for my art. Deidara, cut. Suddenly I don't want to blow up this guy. If I use my art to blow up this guy, it will be a kind of tarnish to my art, or a chimaru. Hey, I'd be happy to dissect him, of course, in his fully awake state. Double, Master or a chimaru, don't forget the medicine that can amplify the senses, adding that is the most perfect. Kakashi, he looks like a normal boy, but why is his brain circuit so strange? I really can't figure it out. Hoshigaki Kisame, because you are normal. This guy is not normal. Ike held Uchiha Shisu back and said coldly, forget it. It's a waste to say anything to this white-eyed wolf. His brain circuit is different from normal people. Even if something is wrong, he will stick to it to the end. This kind of person, even if you kill him, you can't make him repent. Uchiha Shisu said with a serious face, no, I can't just watch him go astray. I want to wake him up completely. Let him look at the children born in the clan land, and let him wake up completely. Ike sneered, took 2 steps back and said without stopping, then you can figure it out for yourself. Chapter 130 Shocked. Uchiha teenage girl, turned out to be a couple. It was already the second day when the screen changed. Uchiha Itachi walks down the street, smiling all over his face. The wound on the chest seems to have been treated, and there is no sign of injury at all at this time. A truck pulling goods on the street passed by. It is full of goods, and it looks like it is overloaded. Moreover, the person who pulled the goods was staggering, as if he had drunk too much. Drinking too much in broad daylight and pulling carts is simply harming others and yourself. This is not. The shaft of the truck hit a rock, and the whole truck suddenly tilted, and the goods that were not fixed on it were about to fall down. It's too late to say it. Uchiha Itachi rushed over with one stride, shouldering the cargo. The drunk puller looked at it and said in surprise, aren't you a genius of the patriarch's family? By the way, didn't you join Anbu? Why are you here? I won't bother a big man like you with such a small matter. It's not good to bump into it. Uchiha Itachi didn't answer, just smiled and put the goods in order, and then bowed respectfully before leaving. Seeing a lot of rubbish on the street, Uchiha Itachi took another stride and started sweeping the street with a big broom he got from nowhere. The Uchiha people on the street were all stunned when they saw it, and they whispered to each other, how is this going? Isn't he a child of the patriarch's family? How to do such chores? Wait, that's shit. What's he trying to do? He even did the thing of shoveling shit? Doesn't he need to do the task? I remember that he is still from Anbu, right? Is there an Anbu conspiracy here? Probably not. Master Hokage is very kind to us now, and everything he said after apologizing to us a year ago has been fulfilled one by one. That's right. Now our Uchiha's reputation is getting higher and higher. It is said that those who make troubles are all specially arranged by Danzo. Danzo is damned for plotting against our Uchiha clan. Everyone is talking about it. Someone stepped forward and asked curiously, Itachi, you are the patriarch's genius son. How can you do these chores? Let's leave this kind of thing to ordinary people like us. You genius ninjas all want to shine for the clan. Uchiha Itachi said with a simple smile on his face, this is what I should do. The person who came forward to ask the question was suddenly surprised. What should be done? Everyone was stunned. What is he supposed to do? Uchiha Itachi is obviously the son of the patriarch, How can you do something like this? The audience in the live broadcast room were also shocked. Deidara, I didn't expect Uchiha Itachi to show such a silly smile. It shocked me for 800 years, Terumi May, I really can't see it. The guy who was pretty handsome before has completely flown out of my mind now, leaving only the silly smile, Uchiha Fugaku, as expected of Aike. I came up with this torture idea. For proud Uchiha, it is the most vicious torture. I am very satisfied. Chapter 131 Uchiha Itachi holds a child in his arms and holds another in his hand. Whether Deidara understands it is obviously not important. What matters is what happens next in the video. I saw the screen in the video turn around in a rather dark room. A figure sat on a chair in the dark. Uchiha Fugaku stepped forward respectfully and said in a low voice, Master, the plan has been successfully implemented, and all targets have been awakened. Do you want to continue to implement the next plan? The video zooms in to reveal Aike in the dark. Aike rested his chin on one hand, with a faint smile. Really? Don't worry, let them adapt to their own abilities, and then proceed to the next step in unison. In this way, we are the strongest Uchiha ever. Uchiha Fugaku looked up, a wild smile on his face. Yes, men. After a few days in this mysterious room again, or these two people. Aike is still sitting on the chair, showing that he is the leader behind the scenes of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Fugaku stood below respectfully, lowering his head to report, Master, all the targets have been successfully transplanted, and the Uchiha clan's eye-opening plan you proposed has been successfully implemented. Aike nodded, as if this was all he expected. Then, let's report to 730. Yes. The corners of Uchiha Fugaku's mouth parted, revealing an exaggerated smile. In the whole eye-opening project, a total of 128 people were awakened, and their eyes were successfully exchanged. In other words, we have 128 more children with eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. As soon as these words came out, the entire live broadcast room exploded. Deidara, what the hell? It turned out to be Mangekyo Sharingan? And it's even in one step, directly to eternal Mangekyo, dried persimmon ghost shark. This kind of eyes, one pair is already difficult enough, but now there are so many, no one is the opponent of the Zuzibo clan. Anoki, although it was expected, I never expected it to be on such a large scale. Hidden, this horse riding is too scary, right? What kind of extreme horror is this? Senju Tabirima, this is what I am worried about. When these children grow up, they will definitely cause a bloodbath. Uchiha Madara, huh? With Aike here, they definitely wouldn't do that. Senju Hashirama, that's right, brother, you are too suspicious. Believe in Aike, Aike will definitely restrain them. Terumi May, Uchiha's current strength is enough to crush the entire ninja world. Grandma Chiyo, it's so scary, so scary. Fortunately, we don't have Uchiha anymore, hehe. Uchiha Fugaku, damn it. You obviously have a great future. But because of... I am really ashamed of my ancestors. Fourth Raikage, wake up. If it weren't for Aike, your situation would not have changed at all. With your eyes that can't tell the difference between enemy and friend, how could you defeat Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo, who are as cunning as foxes? Uchiha Tsuyu, heartbroken, old iron. Uchiha Hikari, Alice, it's too late to say this, our Uchiha has been completely destroyed. The screen changed. On the streets of the Uchiha tribal land, a bunch of kids were running around, constantly issued crisp laughter, innocent, lively and lovely, but if you look into their eyes, you will find that they all have a pair of scarlet eyes. Chapter 132 Aike, Uchiha Itachi, you go and drag me out for 5 years. In the video, Uchiha Itachi, who was carrying a child, met Uchiha Shisu head-on. Seeing Uchiha Itachi, Uchiha Shisu's eyes were full of complexity. Itachi, are you still taking Sasuke's child? Who is this child? Before Uchiha Itachi could answer, a boy about 10 years old came from the other side and said, it's my child, let him take it with him. The expression on his face was understated, as if it was a very common thing for Uchiha Itachi to take care of a child. Uchiha Itachi let go of the child's hand immediately, and scratched the back of his head with a silly smile. However, without Uchiha Itachi's support, the child, who could barely stand, suddenly fell backwards. When the child's parents saw it, they were immediately angry. He quickly stepped forward to pull the child up, patted the ashes on the child's buttocks, and cursed at Uchiha Itachi. How do you look at the child? I trust you to give the child to you to see, but you actually let my child fall. How on earth do you guys do things? Believe it or not, I will go to the patriarch to sue Uchiha Itachi lowered his head in fear and said, "Sorry. Sorry. Uchiha Itachi kept repeating, and his face was full of guilt. Uchiha Shisu on the side couldn't see it, so he severely reprimanded this junior who became a father at the age of 10. Isn't it just a fall? The child is fine, and it was me talking to Itachi that made him let go. You can blame me if you don't. How dare the boy say?" Uchiha Shisu, he could only leave with his own child with a disgruntled expression, muttering non-stop. Obviously he had nothing good to say. Uchiha Shisu sighed, then spoke to Itachi. 26 You too, since you are holding the child's hand, never let go. You know, it's terrible if the child gets hurt because of it. The children are the future of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Itachi said with a silly smile, "I remember, I will never let go in the future." Uchiha Shisu nodded, then patted Uchiha Itachi on the shoulder, shook his head and left with a sigh. And the audience in the live broadcast room, seeing Uchiha Itachi's humble appearance, couldn't help being dumbfounded. Again, Inoki, the former genius, has fallen to this level. Uchiha Madara, this is what he asked for. Doesn't a traitor want to ask for forgiveness? Senju Hashirama, Madara, give people a chance. After all, he just can't think about it for a while. Grandma Chiyo, is he out of his mind? He just doesn't hit the south wall and doesn't look back. Fourth Raikage, he doesn't think he did something wrong, so how can he be overwhelmed? Everyone's brain circuits are not on the same line, and they can't communicate at all. Deidara, he, looking at yourself in such a miserable state, do you have any thoughts? Uchiha Fugaku, huh? This rebellious son finally woke up? When he wakes up, hurry up and apologize to me. It's a sin for a guy like you to live. Senju Tobirama, it's better to take that eye and disappear completely, lest someone use that eye to do some bad things. Luoshak, that's right. He still has Shisu's distinguished heavenly gods in his hand. Terumi Mei, people from the Akatsuki organization, you have to be careful. If you are accidentally controlled by Itachi, you will become Konoha's lackeys. Hidden, damn it. Stay away from me. Don't get close to me, Kokuzu, idiot. Even if he uses it on the scorpion, he can't use it on you, and his eye was originally intended to be used on his younger brother. Scorpion, I don't need to worry about mediocrity. The existence of the distinguished heavenly gods has been exposed. Chapter 133 Uchiha Toolman. Start acting. Aike nodded in satisfaction when he heard the answer, but he was satisfied. But the audience in the live broadcast room had opinions. Inoki, Aike is planning to let Uchiha Itachi die outside. Fourth Raikage, you are not allowed to use Sharingan, let alone the fire style of the Uchiha clan. Most of your strength is self-sealed, and you have to perform such a difficult task, and it is still 5 years. Luoshak, this is not enough, is it? Uchiha Fugaku, why not? The crimes committed by this BD can't be repaid by these. Uchiha Tsuyu, that's right. Aike is doing great. Uchiha Madara, this is what happens to traitors. Terumi Mei, but if Uchiha Itachi died outside, wouldn't his identity be revealed? Deidara, it's not easy. If you can't escape, then send yourself a fire style to destroy the corpse and wipe out the traces, so that you can definitely keep your identity secret. Little Sakura, I always feel a little inhumane. Kakashi, maybe this is the fate of a ninja. Even if you face some impossible tasks, you can't retreat, because there is no way to retreat. Senju Tobirama, now is a critical period for the development of the Uchiha clan. It is a very correct choice to give up a sacrificial son at this time in exchange for precious development time. 1. Golden Horn, are you talking about you? But look at Konoha after your sacrifice, it was made into a mess by your apprentices, and it is completely gone from the grand scene when Senju Hashirama was still alive. Tsunade, two despicable and shameless traitors, dare to speak here. Jiraiya, what a look down on the most is you bastards who take advantage of others. The screen changed, came to the desert full of yellow sand. When the wind blows, countless yellow sands fly all over the sky, blocking sight, and among them, a figure moved forward at an extremely fast speed. The whole body was wrapped tightly, only a pair of black eyes were exposed. This person, of course, is Uchiha Itachi, who sneaked into the hinterland of the Kingdom of Wind, sensitively bypassing all kinds of dark lines. Uchiha Itachi touched Tsunagakure without anyone noticing at this time in an office in the Fengying building. Kazuka Draza and advisor Chiyo, Ibizo, and several Jonin including Baki gathered here. Fengying Luosha frowned and said, Konoha's Uchiha clan is getting more and more rampant now. According to the information from the Dark Thread, the number of Uchiha clan has more than doubled. And there are still many children who have used unimaginable ninjutsu. If These children grow up, Konoha's power will no longer be contained, Grandma. Chiyo said calmly. What do the Konoha high-ranking people do? Let the Uchiha family dominate. Ibizo languished, as if he hadn't woken up knowing that Grandma Chiyo patted him hard on the back of the head. He seemed to be awakened. What's wrong? Let me tell you about Konoha? Don't you have a lot of eyeliners, Grandma? Chiyo said angrily. Ibizo said suddenly. Konoha? It is said that Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly changed his temper a few years ago. He not only personally apologized to the Uchiha clan, but also severely restricted the rights of other advisors to prevent them from continuing to oppress the Uchiha clan. That's why the Uchiha clan is growing in Konoha now. Baki said with a frown. There must be some ulterior secrets in it. Maybe Sarutobi Hiruzen has negotiated some kind of agreement with the Uchiha clan. Otherwise, how could Sarutobi Hiruzen allow the Uchiha clan to expand to such a degree? Fengying. Leosha nodded. That's what I thought too, but anyway, Uchiha has become a serious hindrance now. Chapter 134 Give way. Aike is about to start his speech. Unable to use Sharingan, unable to use pupil jutsu, unable to use family fire style ninjutsu, also faced the mighty and perfect Jinchuriki Killer Bee. This is a stark contrast. Uchiha Itachi was completely unable to pose any threat to Killer Bee head-on, even if Uchiha Itachi used his superb shuriken throwing technique to cause some damage to Killer Bee's disciples. It was undoubtedly a drop in the bucket, and at this moment, the huge pressure that overwhelmed this fragile balance came instantly. Fourth Raikage comes on stage with lightning speed. Just the moment he appeared on the stage, he rushed in front of Uchiha Itachi. At an extremely fast speed, the violent and incomparable power was vented on Uchiha Itachi's fragile body. Bang! Uchiha Itachi's body turned into a steak in a puff of white smoke. Body replacement technique. Fourth Raikage made a judgment immediately, and saw Uchiha Itachi appearing a few meters away. As soon as he turned his head immediately afterwards, the fourth Raikage was activated immediately, completely ignoring any physical rules, and once again carrying enormous power. It came in front of Uchiha Itachi, and this time not only the fourth Raikage alone, but also the rabbi who wrote the fourth Raikage with a tacit understanding. The two sides were in front of each other, the muscles in the arm swelled abnormally, and it was obvious at a glance that the strength was absolutely extraordinary, absolute. Thunderplow hot knife. With a roar, the picture entered black and white in just a split second. Uchiha Itachi's head was decapitated. A pair of eyes that didn't dare to widen could be clearly seen through the mask, but the feel of the tentacles was immediately known to fourth Raikage and Killer Bee. This is by no means me. Really, under the gaze of the two, the body and head of Uchiha Itachi turned into a puddle of water and merged into the ground. It's the water body technique. Killer Bee's face was serious, and he immediately recognized the ninjutsu that Uchiha Itachi escaped in fourth Raikage. 917 judged Uchiha Itachi's chakra fluctuation in an instant. Don't try to run. Fourth Raikage roared. A heavy punch hit the ground. A figure popped out abruptly from under the ground. However, this figure also turned into a ball of water. It is also a water body. Damn. It let him run away. Fourth Raikage curled his lips and frowned tightly. Killer Bee came up and said doubtfully, "Brother, is the water avidar technique used by this guy Mist Shinobi's ninja?" Fourth Raikage shook his head and said, "I can't say for sure, but the suspicion is very high. But I'm more inclined to be the smelly old man Inoki. That guy Onaji likes to do this kind of thing secretly. Maybe that guy Onaji has already seen that Konoha is powerful. Maybe he has gone there." Chapter 135 Uchiha Fugaku. I declare that Aike did all this. Aike looked left and right, and then said seriously, "Everyone, go to Nan Shrine and prepare for the assembly." Uchiha Fugaku said with a serious face, "Have you heard? Within an hour, everyone will gather at the Nanga Shrine. I have something important to announce." The Uchiha people immediately talked about it after waiting for Nan Shrine. The Uchiha people are still discussing quietly and enthusiastically below. What do you think the Patriarch intends to announce? I think it must be a declaration of war on the other 4 Daniel villages. Should we declare war on the 4 great ninja villages at the same time? Although the children have grown up and are very strong, they are the 4 great ninja villages after all, and their strength should not be underestimated. HMPH. A bunch of scum, all is futile in the face of Uchiha's great Eternal Mage Gekio. It is true that Eternal Mage Gekio is very powerful, but the children are still young and have not experienced battles, nor have they actually seen blood, let alone the experience of fighting to the death. Even if it is an eye-opening plan, It will only make them fall into the illusion of confusing the real with the fake. But others are bullying us, so why should we remain indifferent? The voices of discussion came and went, making the whole Nan shrine look like a lively vegetable market at this time. Uchiha Fugaku, who was sitting quietly with his eyes closed, slowly opened them. Quiet. Uchiha Fugaku let out a low cry, shutting everyone up immediately. Soon, the quiet needle drop could be heard in Nan's shrine. Then, Uchiha Fugaku stood up, came to everyone and said, "Today, you are called together because there is a very important announcement to make. In addition to the children, everyone should remember what our Uchiha family experienced 8 years ago, the distrust of the villagers, the suspicion and suppression of Konoha's high-level officials, and the prying eyes of enemies outside the village. It can be said that our village is on the brink of destruction." Below, the older Uchiha people clenched their fists, thinking of that very embarrassing experience. It was a crackdown that took a long time to become. It comes from the high-level Konoha, and also from second Hokage Senju to bitterness fear of the Uchiha clan. In any case, at that time, the situation of the Uchiha clan was undoubtedly very bad. Looking at the older clansmen whose eye sockets gradually became rosy, and the young clansmen whose eyes were blank, who had no idea what happened, Uchiha Fugaku sighed faintly, and continued, "During that period, we once wanted to launch a rebellion, force the high-level Konoha to step down, and become the ruler of Konoha. So, we sent a clansman to Anbu, who is the confidant of Konoha's higher-ranking team. Our purpose is very simple. Let this clansman always pay attention to the movements of the high-level Konoha, and pass back various information from the high-level Konoha. But what we all never expected is that the guy we had high hopes for turned out to be the running dog of Konoha's senior management. What disgusts me even more is that not only does this guy have no shame, he even intends to assist Konoha's senior management and kill us all. This is simply the disgrace of my life." Following Uchiha Fugaku's ferocious roar, the elder clansmen seemed to have thought of something, and they all looked at Uchiha Itachi, who was wrapped in gauze like a mummy after being bandaged. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 136. The Real Poem Master. Uchiha Itachi is completely conquered. Under the surprised eyes of all the clansmen, Uchiha Fugaku raised his head slightly, with a fanatical expression on his face, and shouted loudly, "It was Aike who turned the tide and used the distinguished heavenly gods to control Sarutobi Hirozen at the critical moment, directly causing Konoha's plan to fail completely. The various divisive behaviors of other Konoha high-ranking officials, especially Danzo, against us Uchiha have also been effectively contained. The relationship between the village and us has also been restored. When we walk on the street, we will no longer be stared at by the villagers with strange eyes. All of this depends on Aike's credit. It's him who made us have such a beautiful life now. It's also Aike who proposed the plan to expand the population, and the plan to open the eyes. Without Aike, we wouldn't be where we are now. Aike is the savior of us all." The audience was in an uproar again. All eyes were on the expressionless Aike sitting next to Uchiha Shisu on stage, and next to it, Uchiha Shisa played drums to Aike with a big smile on his face. The other Uchiha elders also applauded one after another, with gentle smiles on their faces. As elders, they naturally knew about this matter in advance. The only ones who were kept in the dark were the following clansmen now. Aike's achievement 063 was suddenly brought up, which made all the Uchiha people feel a little uncomfortable, but Sarutobi Hirozen's extremely weird apology at the beginning finally got a reasonable explanation. It turned out to be the distinguished heavenly gods. Now there are more and more Mangekyou Sharingan in the clan. I don't know how many more children have the pupil technique of distinguished heavenly gods. Naturally, the clansmen are well aware of how powerful the distinguished heavenly gods are, and Aike used the distinguished heavenly gods to control Sarutobi Hirozen. This incident obviously shocked all the clansmen. After all, Sarutobi Hirozen is often accompanied by a large number of Anbu. Just because Sarutobi Hirozen has been attacked many times and Aike was able to pass through all these obstacles and control Sarutobi Hirozen himself, which is really incredible. The people in the audience did not talk about it this time, but stared at Uchiha Fugaku expectantly, waiting for his next words. Uchiha Fugaku didn't keep them waiting too long either. Immediately continued with a high voice, "Aike's contribution cannot be fully explained even here, But the points I just mentioned are enough to prove how great Aike's contribution is. As for the disposal of Uchiha, it is also decided by Aike himself. Next, I would like to invite Aike to come on stage and explain to everyone why Uchiha was asked to carry out such a dangerous mission behind enemy lines. As he spoke, Uchiha Fugaku stepped back while applauding, giving the stage to Aike, and the clansmen in the audience applauded one after another. Amidst the many applause, Aike stood up, tidied his clothes, and then came to the front of the stage. Aike first glanced at the clansmen in the audience, looked at those pairs of respectful eyes with curiosity, and couldn't help showing a weird smile that was not easy to detect. My punishment for Uchiha is actually for his own good. Being a traitor is absolutely unforgivable. But Uchiha just went astray because he was bewitched by the enemy. So, in order for him to atone for his sins, I modified his will and made him carry his own sins on this road of atonement. For so many years, he has worked diligently as a servant for everyone, and he did not refuse all your unreasonable requests, all because his will was modified by me. Chapter 137 Uchiha Army. Start crushing the ninja world. Uchiha Iron Tree. Indeed, it is not Uchiha who betrayed us, although he once thought about it, at least he didn't do it. Uchiha Ikari, I didn't expect him to do this. Uchiha Daisuke, our enemy is Itachi who killed us, not this Itachi who didn't have time to do anything. Uchiha Tomoko, with Aike here, this Itachi has no chance to do that thing. Senju Hashirama, Aike is really amazing. Itachi got redemption directly. Even Uchiha in the live room forgave him. Deidara, no way. Master Aike is like this. Uchiha Madara, humph. So. Uchiha Mikado, Itachi, it's great that you can come back from the wrong way. Hidden, FK. Can this be forgiven? Uchiha Sakuta, forgive? Of course we won't forgive Uchiha Itachi, but let's talk about it. The Uchiha Itachi in the video is not the one we hate. Zio organization other eyes were on Uchiha Itachi in the corner. Uchiha Itachi, on the other hand, was staring at himself in the video in the live broadcast room in a daze. Deidara whispered, although I still don't like this guy, he in the video is really amazing. He can do that to complete the task. Hidden nodded and said, that's right, if I can't use the blood of death, I'm afraid I won't even be able to jump out of Tsunagakure. Kakuzu looked at Hidden in surprise. Are you quite self-aware? Hidden gave Kakuzu a vicious look, although it was Hidden who said it himself. Kakuzu's tone really made him very upset. 30 Scorpio said lightly, don't forget, Uchiha volunteered to join us in order to obtain information about our Akatsuki organization, being able to remain loyal to Konoha to the point of joining us as a spy after creating the Genocide Night, and we haven't found out until now, is enough to prove how serious he is about the mission. Konan looked at Pen and asked, what should we do with Uchiha Itachi? He's proven to be our enemy after all. Enemy, Pain glanced at Konan and said, it goes without saying that Uchiha Itachi is no longer our enemy, at least after it was proved that our plan was completely used by people. The meaning of Zio organization's existence has become blurred. When Konan heard this, he said excitedly, not yet. We still have the will left by Yohiko in our hearts. As long as we persevere, the meaning of Akatsuki's existence will still exist. Pain looked at the others, but they no longer have the meaning to stay in the Akatsuki organization. Scorpion said immediately, I won't leave. As a researcher, I'm very curious about your eyes. Deidara crossed her arms and looked proud. Before Master Aike really shows up, I'll be reluctant to stay. Hidden rolled his eyes and said, who cares about a guy like you staying? In addition to causing damage, it is still destroying you. BD. Deidara immediately wrestled with Hidden in the corner. Kisame watched with relish. Although their communication was not loud just now, they were in the same room after all, and Hoshigaki Kisame naturally heard all the conversations. What do you think, Itachi? Chapter 138 Pain, 1,000 Susans? I play Nima. Fengiying Luosha gritted his teeth and said, what else can we do? The enemy has hit the door of the house. Don't you dare to surrender without even resisting. Call me all the men immediately, and go out with me to meet the enemy. Baki bowed his head. Yes, Kazuki-sama. The other Jonin also left, calling up the ninja who are still in and around the village. The battle is about to start. The screen changed. The sky full of yellow sand appeared in front of the audience in the live broadcast room. Countless puppet masters, sand shinobi all gathered at the gate of Tsunagakure. Tens of thousands of people. Luo Shading was at the front, with an extremely dignified expression on the other side of Sans Shinobi's confrontation. There are dozens of Uchiha tribesmen in terms of numbers. There is a huge and incomparable gap, Luo Sha sneered, looking at the opposite lineup. That's it. There is not even a well-known existence, and some Uchiha people are sent to attack us. If it's Uchiha Shisu coming over, I may still need to face it cautiously, but you guys, today, I'm going to teach you a lesson and let you know that Tsunagakure, are not easy to mess with. Rosa yelled loudly. The Uchiha people on the opposite side were indifferent. It seems that these Uchiha people are just puppets. No response was received, which made Luo Sha feel ashamed. HMPH. Since you are so ignorant, let me show you how powerful my Tsunagakure puppet army is. Gimme it. Luo Sha sent a signal to attack. Tens of thousands of Sans Shinobi ninjas act now. All kinds of puppets flew towards the position of the Uchiha tribe immediately from a distance. It looks like a swarm of locusts approaching another small black spot at a very fast speed, but these small black dots have undergone huge and incomparable changes. In an instant, huge chakra emerged from the bodies of these Uchiha tribesmen, and then solidified one by one into a huge figure that could not be ignored. That's the perfect Susanoo. Each Susanoo reaches a height of hundreds of meters. These Susanoo are like giants, condescendingly watching Sans Shinobi like ants swarming on the ground. The number advantage of the original Sans Shinobi ninja disappeared. Even Luo Sha himself was left with a face full of astonishment and shock. Subsequently, these giants moved with just one step. The power caused by some middle genins was unbearable, and after these Susanoo really made an attack, tens of thousands of Sans Shinobi ninjas immediately became defeated. He could only flee in embarrassment, crying for his father and mother and the few jonin with superb strength. And Tsunagakure approached Susanoo through exquisite agility, and performed various evasion techniques: wind style vacuum wave, wind style wind blade, wind style vacuum liambo, wind style harm, wind style vacuum sphere. These incomparably fierce wind style attacks, if ordinary people encountered them, they would definitely not be able to leave their bodies intact, but when it landed on Susanoo's surface, it couldn't stir up even a single ripple. Chapter 139. Uchiha founding surpassed the whole ninja world. Konan asked suspiciously in her prediction. It was impossible for Pain to lose, therefore, the only option is that the enemy is very weak. Pain said calmly. I thought about it carefully, and I still need to have a good conversation with the other party. Our purpose is to bring peace to the ninja world, not to add more killings. Konan tilted her head. A question mark appeared in her head. Is that so? Although there is nothing wrong with what Pen said, the purpose of the establishment of the Zio organization is indeed to liberate the country of Rain from the chaos of war, but who killed so many people in order to liberate the land of Rain? Isn't that you, Pen? Not only Konan was puzzled, the people in the live broadcast room couldn't help complaining when they saw this scene, especially the scene where Pain quickly retreats after seeing Uchiha's army is even more ridiculous. Deidara, I didn't expect you to be such a pain. Luo Sha, if you withdraw after just one glance, you must be discouraged. Scorpion, this is not incomprehensible. I believe that no one can face that kind of lineup and face it calmly. Kakuzu, the shadow capitals of the four great nations were directly defeated. Although Pain's strength is stronger than yours, it's not too strong. Uchiha Madara, ha, look. This is the strongest potential of my Uchiha clan. Senju Hashirama, receive taste. Since you know this is the potential of your family, why didn't you do it at the beginning? Anoki, I didn't expect First Hokage to look so simple and honest, and he would kill people. Uchiha Fugaku, I am so big. Uchiha Tizu, our Uchiha clan is invincible. Dried persimmon ghost shark. Such pain really refreshed our cognition. Little Sakura, it feels quite cute. 170. Jiraiya, don't feel ashamed. In the face of this kind of battle, your choice is human. Since I said I want to get in touch, Pain naturally no longer had the idea of fighting by force this time. Pain took Konan and slowly flew in front of Uchiha's army in order to show sincerity. Pain deliberately fell to the ground instead of adopting a condescending attitude. Seeing that Pain didn't seem to be hostile, the Uchiha clan relieved Susanoo one after another, and then separated to both sides. Then Aike stepped out from the crowd. Pain was a little surprised to see Aike at this time. Pain has not yet learned that Aike is the one who controls the situation in Uchiha. Pain also thought that the man who confronted him would be the patriarch of the Uchiha clan. Who are you, Pen? Asked suspiciously. Aike smiled and said, my name is Aike, and I represent the will of the Uchiha clan with full authority. I see that you don't want to fight. and we Uchiha clan don't want to cause unnecessary killings, so, what do you think? Just say it. Aike holds the absolute initiative. This feeling made Pain very uncomfortable. Chapter 140 Obito. Every time you sweep pornography, you are there. In the Akatsuki organization, Konan could not see the hope of peace coming, but now, after seeing the strength of the Uchiha clan and the courage displayed by Aike, Konan has to admit that this is the most hopeful time she has ever seen. Peace will indeed come. Thinking of this, Konan was so excited that he couldn't help himself. Pain agreed to Aike's request and planned to disarm the armed forces of the Kingdom of Rain. Naturally, it also includes the Akatsuki organization. The establishment of the Akatsuki organization is to bring peace to the ninja world now that peace is close at hand. There is no need for Pain to continue to keep this organization, but Pain wants to dismantle the Akatsuki organization, but some people don't want Pain to succeed. The news that Pain dismantled the Akatsuki organization was passed to Obito by Black Zetsu. Obito naturally would not allow such a thing to happen, although in essence Obito also hopes to bring peace to the ninja world, but there is a prerequisite, that is Obito is going to create a new ninja world with Rin Nahara. It can be said that Obito is a bewildered person. In order to revive Nahara, Lin Chushi did not hesitate to drag the entire ninja world into the water. So how could Obito allow Pain's cowardly behavior before a fight? But it is still useful to keep Pain, and the king does not intend to fight Pain at this time, and after doing it, it is very difficult for Obito to guarantee that he can win. Therefore, Obito directly uses his own Kamui to sneak into the camp of the Uchiha clan and carry out a wave of assassinations. Just kill this guy named Aike and change the whole situation. I will never allow anyone to sabotage my plans. Lin, wait for me. I will definitely let you reappear by my side. Obito's eyes were extremely determined. Obito directly determined the location of Aike through the situation detected by Black Zetsu in advance. Then through the Kamui space, Obito appeared directly in front of Aike, who was sorting out the materials at his desk, frowned slightly, then looked up at the uninvited Obito, and frowned at him. Obito, wearing a spiral mask, only reveals a Sharingan, looking at Aike and saying, "You are brilliant and came up with this way to change the whole Uchiha clan. I'm Uchiha Madara. Do you want to help me unify the entire ninja?" Obito has no doubts about his performance. After all, he has deceived many people with this set of rhetoric, and he is already familiar with it. However, Aike in front of him bowed his head against common sense and continued to sort out the materials, and said in an understatement, "I know you, Uchiha Obito, a lunatic who intends to destroy the entire ninja world for the sake of a girl. Don't think about pretending to be Uchiha Madara. If Uchiha Madara is still alive, I am afraid that she is over 100 years old. A 100-year-old man will certainly not be as tall and straight as you, even if he is Uchiha Madara." Obito's face under the mask suddenly turned blue and purple, but more as horror. It's not that he didn't think that his act of pretending to be Uchiha Madara would be exposed. As Aike said, if he is really Uchiha Madara, he must be over 100 years old by this time. However, Obito never expected that Kei knew his true identity. This matter is the biggest secret under his mask. Who are you? Why do you know my identity? Chapter 141. Aike's father arranges, and pieces double open again? Hearing Nahara Rin's name, a look of madness suddenly appeared in Obito's eyes. What? Do you guys know? How can a guy like you understand my feelings for Lin? Go to hell. Obito rushed over frantically. Very fast ninjutsu is blocked, but taijutsu is not. However, after losing ninjutsu, even if Obito is superb in physical skills, it is impossible for Obito to hurt Aike in front of two pairs of Mangekyo Sharingan. Aike just put his hands behind his back and looked at Obito indifferently. Before Obito could rush to Aike, he was overwhelmed by a force. He is a young man who possesses pupil reversal technique. He pressed on Obito's body all at once, clasping Obito's hands behind his back, preventing Obito from turning over. Aike stepped forward, looked at Obito condescendingly, and said, "Uchiha Obito, next year today will be your Memorial Day. I hope you have already figured out how to face the doubts from the person you killed and the woman you love the most." Obito still stares at Aike with extremely angry eyes, but this kind of eyes has no lethality for Aike. Kill him. This kind of traitor who deceives teachers and ancestors is just a disgrace to the Uchiha family. Aike turned around, then waved. May 13th seems to be Obito, the mastermind behind the scenes, for whom it is nothing in the face of absolute force. Obito, the man behind the scenes who has been hiding for more than 10 years, really is nothing. Yes, Lord Aike. The youth controlling Obito nodded, and then looked at another Uchiha tribe aside. The Uchiha tribe who blocked ninjutsu nodded, and then formed a Madara with both hands. Obviously, blocking ninjutsu is only aimed at other people present, and you can use ninjutsu without hindrance. Fire style great fireball technique. A scorching fireball landed on Obito's body, burning him and screaming horribly. Obito, who cannot use ninjutsu, has no resistance at all, and can only wail non-stop. You evil ghosts. Even if I were a ghost, I wouldn't let you go. All of you will die. Remember. Gradually, Obito's voice weakened, and the strength to struggle was lost soon. Under the high temperature of the fireball, Dai Wang's entire body was directly cremated. Obviously, it was completely dead. There is nothing else. You can go down, but you still have to be careful. Maybe there are other rebels who will invade. Aike gave instructions to the two, sat back on the chair, and continued to deal with official duties. Yes, Lord Aike, the two responded, and after cleaning up the debris on the ground, they left the room. Looking at the three people's understatement, it seems that the death of a behind-the-scenes man like Obito is not an important thing at all. However, the audience in the live broadcast room were all deeply shocked. Kakuzu, the mastermind behind our Akatsuki organization, did he just die? Inoki, blocking other people's ninjutsu, but being able to perform it as usual, is another unsolvable pupil technique. Kakashi, Obito, why did you go astray? Nahorlin, Obito, you did something wrong. Orochimaru, having such a convenient space ninjutsu is the root of Obito's carelessness, because he never thought that someone would know his ability in advance and be able to target it. Jiraiya, with Susanoo, who combines offense and defense, and the dazzling Mangekyo pupil technique, the Uchiha clan is really too strong. Deidara, when I arrived in the land of rain, I thought I would make an appearance, but I didn't even show my face. Chapter 142. When the Otsutsuki star came, thousands of Susans were hacked to death. Over there, Yamato is exhaustingly using wood style to build a house. There are several Uchiha people next to them. As long as Yamato's chakra is not enough, they will come forward to provide chakra to ensure that Yamato's work can continue. House construction is going on here in full swing. Aike is in the process of supervising the overall planning of the Uchiha family land. Behind him, several people walked over quietly. It's Uchiha Fugaku, Uchiha Shisu, and Sasuke. Aike, take a look. Uchiha Fugaku said with a smile. Aike turned his head, and when he saw the person coming, he smiled and put away the blueprint in his hand. What? What's the matter with me all of a sudden? Uchiha Fugaku smiled and said, just wanted to thank Aike for what you've done for the community. If it weren't for you, our Uchiha clan must have been destroyed by the conspiracy of Konoha's high-level officials. Aike shook his head and said, me too, Uchiha? I do it more for self-preservation. Moreover, it is everyone who contributes in the end. If everyone had not abided by the rules and regulations we specified, it would not be possible to have the current strength. Uchiha Shisu shook his head and said, but no matter what, it was you who pointed out a clear path for us, allowing us to get to where we are now. Now, when we go to other places, as long as we see the round fan logo on our bodies, the civilians will welcome us very warmly, because we completely quelled the war. Aike smiled, didn't answer, but looked at Sasuke. Sasuke said shyly, 01 Brother Aike, I actually came here for my two daughters. They are also of marriageable age, but they all want to marry your two sons, you see. Aike said with a hearty smile, what's the matter? It just so happens that my third and fourth sons have just reached the age, so it's settled. Sasuke suddenly showed a happy smile, then, thank you Brother Aike. Uchiha Fugaku turned his head and looked at the hot scene, and couldn't help saying with emotion, I never imagined that the Uchiha clan would be as grand as they are today. It all depends on you, my lord. Aike said with a smile, Clan Chief Fugaku, it is enough to say this once, and I will be a little embarrassed if I say more. Ha ha ha. Uchiha Fugaku smiled heartily, and then said while leaning on Aike's shoulder, don't be so shy, this is the reward you deserve for so much hard work. Without you, the Uchiha clan would not be where it is today. Aike smiled, then asked Shisu, where's Itachi? Why didn't you see him? Itachi is on patrol with a patrol team. Uchiha Shisu said with a smile, after all, we still have to maintain the peace of the entire ninja world. Having said this, of course we can't do nothing. Aike nodded, then took out a drawing and said, it just so happens that you are here. Let's take a look at this blueprint together. How do you think this area should be organized? The three of them came together and carefully looked at the contents of the blueprint. Uchiha Fugaku stroked his chin, Uchiha Shisu looked serious, and Sasuke looked blank. Subsequently, the four continued to discuss the construction of the Uchiha clan. Amidst their discussions, the Uchiha clan's clan land was built, and finally a city, a country. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 143. The comparison is over. Uchiha Itachi doubts life. But maybe because of this, she seemed to see the young Aike appearing in her eyes. Go. At ease, I won't make you wait too long. Uchiha Izumi said tremblingly, his eyes full of warmth. A smile was drawn on the corner of Aike's mouth, and then he said, I'll be waiting for you down there. Then, Aike shifted his gaze to the other three old people standing not far away. I didn't expect that I would go one step ahead of you. It really surprised me. The wrinkled Shisu smiled. For old people like them, death has already been seen through. Don't worry, your magnificent voice will surely be immortalized in the history of the Uchiha clan. After all, you have accomplished what the Uchiha people of all generations have not accomplished. Tears were streaming down Uchiha Itachi's face. He walked over and knelt in front of Aike's bed, clutching the edge of the bed, his eyes full of reluctance. Obviously, I should go first. Sasuke leaned on a cane and walked beautifully. Brother Aike, don't worry, the Uchiha clan will be safe with us old bones. Even if we fall, there are still our children, children's children, children's children's children. In short, the Uchiha clan will surely stand upright in the future. Aike nodded in relief. The glory of Uchiha, I leave it to you. I'll watch you from below. Don't come here so fast. After speaking, Aike smiled and closed his eyes slowly. The hand held by Uchiha Izumi also dropped powerlessly. Tears, falling from Aike's hand, also fell from Uchiha Izumi's eyes. Don't worry, I won't let you be lonely down there. Uchiha Izumi spoke softly. On the other hand, Aike's grandchildren went up to cry. Grandfather, Grandpa Zhang, great-great-grandpa. Soon, Aike's funeral takes place as the hero who raised the Uchiha clan. Aike's funeral was undoubtedly of the highest order. Even the patriarch during the rise, Uchiha Fugaku's funeral rank is not as high as that of Aike. Maybe there won't be any in the future. Tens of thousands of perfect Susanoo form the funeral route. The 8 strongest members of the current Uchiha clan are responsible for carrying Aike's coffin. Millions of Uchiha watched as their hero was buried along the way. All the Uchiha people cried with tears in their eyes. There are also a large number of people spontaneously kneeling on both sides, thanking Aike for his contribution to the Uchiha family. The entire Uchiha kingdom was in great mourning when Aike's coffin was buried, just waiting for the earth to cover it. At that time, he was the head of the Uchiha clan and also the king of the Uchiha kingdom. Aike's great-grandson, Uchiha Elliot, stepped forward with a sad look on his face. Opposite him is the Uchiha national, who is also full of sadness. They waited quietly, waiting for the king to give their hero a final speech. Chapter 144. Momoshiki comes to the ninja world. Discover Aike. Land of the Earth. Iwagaki Inoki angrily swept everything on the table. That guy from the Zio organization dared to talk to me like that. If this guy appears in front of me, I must let him know about Chen Dun's history. Wang Tu said helplessly beside him. Father, what you said just now is really inappropriate. Anomu rolled his eyes, and Wang Tu immediately shut his mouth and dared not speak. Black Soil said with a smile. Who made you, Grandpa, talk like a war madman? Human Pain formed the Akatsuki organization just to make peace, but you don't approve of Aike's achievements. He must be very angry. Inoki couldn't help but sighed, and then said, Do you think I don't want to gain peace? Every day watching the loss of ninjas performing tasks, do you think I won't be heartbroken? But ninja is such a profession. Without fighting, ninja has no room to survive. This is inevitable. It is also the fate of ninjas. Hey, who wouldn't want peace? But even if you want it, you can't really embrace it. Wang Tuxin nodded with a shout. The black soil is somewhat inexplicable. Kirigakure, the land of water. Terumi Mei is sitting in Mizukage's office. Although she is sitting in the position of Mizukage, Terumi Mei is not officially Mizukage at this time. According to the normal trajectory, Terumi Mei will be handed over to Mizukage by Yuan Shi in person at the 5 Kages conference a few years later. Now she is only acting as Mizukage's place. Alice, peace, the longed for but unattainable dream. It's A pity that ninjas are tools for fighting, and it is unrealistic to want to embrace peace, master. Yuan nodded tremblingly. This is ninja's mission. Terumi Mei waved her hand and said, forget it, don't want these heavy things for 33 yuan. Who do you think will be the next comparison video? I wonder if we can come to our Kirigakure once this time. Now, the 5 major countries are short of us in Kirigakure and Cloud Shinobi Village in the Land of Thunder. I really want to see how Aike leads us Kirigakure to conquer the world. Master Yuan nodded slowly, obviously looking forward to it, although they dare not hope for peace in reality. But it is also a good choice to see it in the video and satisfy their inner desire with a glimmer of expectation. Terumi Mei focused her gaze on the screen in the live broadcast room, waiting for the system prompt, waiting for it to light up again. The Land of the Winds. Tsunagakure Fengiying Luosha let out a long breath. Aike is really an unfathomable existence. If he really exists in this ninja world, will there be more possibilities? Grandma Shio nodded and said, that's natural. But sometimes the possibilities aren't so pretty, just like when he was compared with Scorpion. Turning everyone in the entire ninja world into puppets is really terrifying. Luo Sha looked curiously at Grandma Shio. As a puppeteer, don't you imagine what Aike did when he became a puppeteer? Of course I thought about it, Grandma Shio said. As a matter of course, however, imagination is imagination after all. After seeing what Aike did with my own eyes, this thought has completely disappeared from my mind. It was a world of despair, seemingly glamorous, but beneath the glamour it was filled with the wreckage of death. Chapter 145. The Zen ninja world is shocked, crazy, looking for traces of Aike. Otsutsuki Momoshiki never expected that Aike in this so-called comparison video turned out to be a real person. Thinking of Aike's shocking behaviors in the video, and destroying the plans of their Otsutsuki clan many times, Otsutsuki Momoshiki knows that this person must not stay. Since I met you, then you can stay here. Otsutsuki Momoshiki gave a cruel smile, then held out his right hand. However, Otsutsuki Momoshiki saw Aike at the same time. Aike also saw Otsutsuki Momoshiki, who looked different from ordinary people. I saw Aike also stretched out his right hand. The two are hundreds of meters apart. One is standing in the air, and the other is hiding in Susanoo. It seems to be a friendly exchange in the air, but the next moment, in Otsutsuki Peach pose, I feel that my body suddenly becomes light, and light when I look down, I found that my body had been torn apart, and not only that, even these shattered bodies are further exploded into finer powder. It's as if the whole person is disintegrating. Otsutsuki Momoshiki immediately looked up in horror, opened his mouth just as he was about to speak. The last remaining had also disintegrated instantly. Otsutsuki on the star. A group of Otsutsuki people gathered together. One of them, Otsutsuki, said doubtfully, what's going on with Taoshi? There's no news yet. He turned his head and said to the burly clansman beside him, King, isn't it inappropriate to go to the ninja world without Momoshiki with you? After all, there are still some strong men in the ninja world. Otsutsuki Kim shook his head silently. Said another Otsutsuki, according to my guess, Momoshiki should have just arrived in the world called Ninja World. I'm afraid it will take some time to pass on the news, right? Others thought it was true. After all, it is to cross the starry sky, and it is not easy to reach a large distance. However, at this moment, a member of the Otsutsuki tribe who had been paying attention to the situation in the live broadcast room suddenly exclaimed, Taoshi spoke in the live broadcast room. The others were taken aback for a moment, and then hurried to Fang's live broadcast room. The latest news is the Otsutsuki Momo style they just discussed. Otsutsuki Momoshiki, don't come to this world. That Aike actually exists. I was killed in an instant. I didn't even have the chance to use a wedge. Anoki, what? Aike really exists? Where is his location? Uchiha Madara, Otsutsuki didn't expect someone to come to the ninja world? And was killed by Aike? Brother, Aike is really there. Fourth Raikage, hurry up and tell me where Aike is. Otherwise, spare you. Oh, you are already dead? As expected of Aike, he killed you in an instant. Luosha, instantly kill a Otsutsuki family. We Tsunagakure must first find Aike. Terumi Mei, Aike, our Kirigakure is about to be ordered. Sarutobi Hirozen, you guys, Kirigakure, just save yourself. There is nothing you can participate in here. Orochimaru, the ninja world is about to set off a bloody storm. Hiheho is very important. Tsunade, is Aike a real person? Can he bring peace? Hitu, a husband Aike. Where are you? Little Sakura, husband Aike. I miss you so much. I know, wide forehead, you are too shameless, Jiraiya, you really are a sinful person like me, Konan, Aike, please respond if you are there, we are willing to pay any price, just hope you can join us, Senju Tobirama, a man who can bring peace may make the ninja world even more chaotic, Uchiha Fugaku, woohoo, why didn't you show up sooner, the live broadcast room is boiling. Aike actually exists, the news that everyone has imagined, but dare not confirm, was actually confirmed by a member of the Otsutsuki family, and use your own life. The accuracy of this news is naturally beyond doubt accurate. Chapter 146 All members go to the Fire Country Forest. Compare again. This time it turned out to be Danzo. Otsutsuki Momoshiki didn't expect his speech to make the whole live broadcast room so excited subconsciously. Otsutsuki Momoshiki wants to hide Aike's existence, but he suddenly realized the presence of Aike is a natural bait. These ninja villages will definitely fight to get Aike. This will inevitably greatly weaken the strength of the ninja world. Although, with this Aike here, even if people from the Otsutsuki clan come to this ninja world, they will definitely not be able to please them, but being able to add some trouble to the ninja world. Otsutsuki Momoshiki is obviously more than happy to do it. Just let me add another fire in the Pure Land. Otsutsuki Momoki licked his lips. Otsutsuki Momoshiki, do you want to know where Aike is? If you want to know, I will tell you. Go find it. He is somewhere in the forest. Terumi May, I have a clue. Quing, have you received it? Aike is definitely not in the land of wind and the land of earth. There are no forests in these two places. Luoshak, damn it. You actually fell into a weak position. Anoki, Huangtu, turn the search direction immediately. Go to Konoha first. Fourth Raikage, Hahoha, where are you Aike? I came to find you in person. Orochimaru, Fourth Raikage himself? What do you want to do, Jiraiya? This fighting madman, I'm afraid he wants 603 to fight Aike. Tsunade, even the people in Otsutsuki were killed instantly. What can they do in the past? The atmosphere in the studio was warm all because Aike actually exists. In order to win Aike, all ninja villages went into madness. There are not only people like Inoki who directly give orders in the live broadcast room, there are also people like Danzo and Sarutobi Hirozen who move quietly. Not only the 5 major ninja villages, but all countries in the entire ninja world have all taken action because they all know that as long as they master Aike, they master the future of the ninja world, whether it is a big or small country. This will not change because of the country, because he is Aike. Just as the entire ninja world was in a state of excitement, there were also new movements in the live broadcast room. This comparison ends here, after 20 seconds. Start the next comparison. The people in the live broadcast room were quiet for a moment, but now knowing the authenticity of Aike, everyone lost their patience and just wanted to find Aike as soon as possible. Of course, some people focused their attention on the live broadcast room, but they really wanted to know more about the situation. After all, there will always be a lot of speech in the live broadcast room, and some important information may be hidden in it. 20 seconds passed by in a flash. The comparison begins, randomly selecting the identity of the intervener Aike, the identity drawn this time, a member of the Konoha Shimura clan. The reference character for this comparison, Shimura Danzo. Seeing the contrasting characters, everyone in the live broadcast room was silent for a moment. After several previous comparisons, most people have already understood that Danzo has done some shameful things, but now, they will see clearly all the things Danzo has done in this life. Those who have encountered Danzo's poisonous hands all gathered in the live broadcast room with gritted teeth, wanting to see what bad PSI things Danzo has done in this life. Some passers-by are also curious about the legendary story of this big man in Konoha village. Chapter 147 Danzo, it's over, I'm about to be publicly executed. Goldhorn and Silverhorn have the blood of Sage of Six Paths, so they can freely use the ninja tools of Sage of Six Paths in the sneak attack. The Golden Horns and Silverhorns hammered second Raikage and second Hokage Senju Tobirama, dragging a seriously wounded body. Senju Tobirama escaped with 6 remaining elite guards. They fled to a hidden place, but this is not a long-term solution. People from Jinjioi and Jo will find them soon. It's a bad situation right now. Senju Tobirama said, the enemy will catch up soon, so we must have someone to hold the enemy back, so that others can escape smoothly. Which one of you is mentally prepared for this? Senju Tobirama scanned the faces of the 6 people. Danzo's eyes flashed, and he wanted to speak, but he couldn't get out of his mouth. Just when Danzo was hesitating, the person beside him said without hesitation, I'm coming. Master Hokage, take this opportunity and leave the Others looked at the speaker in surprise, and this person was Sarutobi Hiruzen. However, Senju Tobirama touched Sarutobi Hiruzen's head with a smile, and said, "You are the future of Konoha? How could I let you sacrifice in front of me? Remember, where the leaves dance, the fire is also alive. Hiruzen, from tonight onwards, you will be the next Hokage." Danzo's eyes widened, looking at Senju Tobirama and Sarutobi Hiruzen in shock. 101 Zhang never thought that he and the Hokage position were once so close. Afterwards, Senju Tobirama dragged his seriously injured body, stopped the pursuers with his life, and allowed Danzo and the other 6 to return to sleepy. Seeing this scene, the people in the live broadcast room couldn't help talking. Senju Hashirama, well said. Brother, Uchiha Madara, HMPH. You did what you said, but who of you beloved sons did it? Anoki, it's really an embarrassing fact, hehe. Senju Tobirama, stop talking, monkey. Danzo, die for me. Kakashi, Konoha's will of fire, Golden Horn. I didn't expect to see our 2 brothers on the stage. But I didn't expect them to hide there and hand over the position of Hokage. Silver Horn, if we had found them sooner, Konoha would not be the leader of the 5 great nations. Second Raikage, 2 despicable and shameless traitors. They still have the face to speak. Second Suchikage, I didn't know much about the situation at the time. I only knew that Second Raikage and Second Hokage were killed by the Cloud Shinobi rebellious attack. I didn't expect this to be the case. Second Mizukage, cut. Facing these 2 guys, you can't even beat them. Second Hokage, you are too weak. Akamachi Takafen, Master Tobirama was attacked. If it was a normal battle, how could these 2 traitors be difficult for Master Tobirama? Yagura, although Sarutobi Hiruzen is not a good person, he does seem very reliable without hesitation at this moment. Deidara, ha, did you see that look in Danzo's eyes? I laughed so hard. He never dreamed that he could become Hokage, right, Tsunade? Although the situation forced it, the handover of Hokage this time was indeed too hasty. Jiraiya, what would Konoha village be like if it wasn't the teacher who agreed to break up? But Danzo, or Orochimaru, can't imagine. Chapter 148 Danzo, a man who pushes the direction of the ninja world. People in the live broadcast room watched and discussed. Most people have come to a conclusion that as Konoha is the troublemaker of the entire ninja world. The guys who like to make trouble basically come out of Konoha. Even Nagato is a child taught by Jiraiya. When they talked about Nagato and others also appeared in the video just right. Danzo stood on the cliff, condescendingly looking down at the trapped boys and girls below. These are the early Akatsuki members. Next to Danzo, there is the masked Hanzo of the Salamander. A large number of ranged shinobi surrounded the Akatsuki group. Konan, on the other hand, was held hostage in the hands of a ranged shinobi at this time. Yohiko, Nagato, and Konan, although they have been taught by Jiraiya, it is obviously unrealistic to fight Hanzo of the Salamander, who is called a demigod. Hanzo of the Salamander stood on a high place and said coldly, "If you want this woman to live, you have only one choice, that red-haired boy. Kill your leader, and I will let this woman go." Vile and shameless words are spoken, but Hanzo of the Salamander has no shame. The current Hanzo of the Salamander doesn't have the aura of a demigod at all, and only wants to completely wipe out the organization that threatens him. Leave me alone. Don't listen to him. Konan struggled and cried, his voice harsh and down below. Nagato was in a daze, not knowing what to do. Instead it was Yohiko, who had a smile on his face, as the one who asked to be killed. I won't blame you, Nagato, despite killing me. We must protect Konan, you know. Yohiko's voice is soft, but how could Nagato accept killing his best friend? No. I can't do it. Nagato shook his head and backed away, not daring to approach Yohiko. And at this time, a handful of suffering came through the sky. Danzo said lightly, "Use this kunai to kill him." This kun washing is smeared with poison. It won't make him feel pain. Nagato stared wide-eyed, tremblingly looking at the kunai stuck on the ground. Yohiko picked up kunai and said with a smile, "Nagato, from now on, Akatsuki will be in your hands. Don't forget our ideals. The land of rain must be completely liberated." Pooh. Yohiko tapped into his heart with kunai. Nagato stared blankly at this scene, unable to accept what he saw at all. Konan cried out terribly, tears completely blurring his vision in grief. Konan fell into coma for a while, and Nagato is cold, as if turned into a puppet. Danzo said lightly, "Get rid of them all, so as not to cause endless troubles." Ranged shinobi, holding Konan hostage, throws the unconscious Konan down. Out of the corner of Nagato's eye, he saw Konan being thrown down. His body moved subconsciously, and he stepped forward to help Konan. It was at this time that Hanzo of the Salamander was immediately sealed. Fire. Style. Explosive flame formation. The detonating talisman that had been buried in advance suddenly appeared on the ground, wrapping around Nagato's legs. Then the next moment, a violent explosion enveloped Nagato, and Konan and other ranged shinobi also threw hidden weapons from high places, massacring the Akatsuki members below. Chapter 149. Alice. Hokage missed me again. After arbitrarily arranging 2 men to kill the surviving Yakashi Kabuto, Danzo turned around and left without looking at the result. However, to his surprise, Yakashi Kabuto was not killed, but was rescued by a mysterious person. This news makes Danzo, who is used to being in control of everything, very dissatisfied. But Danzo didn't care. It's nothing more than a failed pawn. Maybe know something, but it doesn't hurt. Next, you just need to continue to arrange people to assassinate him. A helpless brat like this might die on the way. Danzo has more important things to do. The third ninja war is over, and Sarutobi Hiruzen abdicates to Shion. Danzo did not compete for the Hokage position because Danzo knows that he who hides in the dark has no right to appear in the sun. Not even the majority of Konoha villagers know he exists. This is the sacrifice Danzo made for Konoha by throwing himself into darkness. He is succeeded by Namake's Minato. He made great achievements on the battlefield, and was feared by the enemy as the yellow flash. It represents that all those who saw Namake's Minato could only see a yellow light, and died under the hands of Namake's Minato. With Namake's Minato's outstanding ability, he conquered most of the Konoha Jonin and high-level officials, and under the strong recommendation of Sarutobi Hiruzen, he became 4th Hokage. The screen suddenly changed. Danzo walked into a dark laboratory. I still think that among the younger generation, only you are the most qualified to be Hokage, whether its qualifications, popularity, or military exploits, you are no worse than Minato. In front of Danzo, there is a figure wearing a white coat conducting an autopsy on the masked face. The snake-like vertical pupils showed his identity. Sarutobi Hiruzen's beloved disciple, Orochimaru. Orochimaru 750 said hoarsely, I have no interest in the position of Hokage. Danzo frowned, stepped forward and said, how is the experiment going? As he spoke, Danzo stared at the corpse on the experimental table. This is a corpse collected from the battlefield and sent to Orochimaru by Danzo for some unknown research. And in the surrounding glass jars, there were one weird corpse after another soaked on each corpse. Branches and leaves of plants grow strangely. It's as if plants and creatures are forcibly combined. It's unbearably disgusting to watch. Orochimaru shook his head and said, no, the current survival rate of the experimental subjects is too low. At present, they can only survive for 15 seconds at most. Although there were regrettable words in his mouth, strong shock appeared in Orochimaru's eyes. The vitality of Senju Hashirama's cells is really due to Tao. Danzo said it as a matter of course. Of course, Senju Hashirama is the god of ninja world after all, and what we want to do is to bring such a god back to life. Only in this way, other ninja villages will not dare to have some thoughts that they shouldn't have. Chapter 150. The darkness of the ninja world. My life is a sassy manipulation. Deidara, Konoha is like this. There will always be magical operations that make people brain twitching. Hidden, normal people definitely can't do this kind of operation. Second Tsuchikage. This is a good apprentice taught by Senju Tobirama. Distrust of Uchiha started from Senju Tobirama. Senju Hashirama, I have long said that you are too harsh on the people of Uchiha. You should give them more trust and treat them as a family in a small village. Senju Tobirama, but everything was caused by people from the Uchiha clan. Even the Nine Tails rebellion this time was caused by people from Uchiha. Black soil. Looking at it this way, the Uchiha clan seems to be a troublemaker. There are obviously better ways to do it, but they always choose the most troublesome and inefficient way. Deidara, everyone in the Uchiha family is mentally ill. The screen changed. Konoha Highrise F4 sat around an office apparently because of the Nine Tails rebellion that happened earlier. From the results, the mysterious man is not a member of the Uchiha family. Although it is not clear why he was able to control Nine Tails, the Uchiha family is obviously innocent. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a sigh, if the Uchiha clan had been able to participate in the battle yesterday, the village would not have suffered such a great sacrifice. Danzo snorted coldly and said, isn't your judgment too hasty? Everyone has seen the Sharingan in the eyes of Nine Tails. If the mysterious person is not a member of the Uchiha clan, there must be a sketch of the Uchiha clan. It Is obviously too early to say that the Uchiha clan is innocent. Yuta Tenkaharu nodded and said, "What Danzo said is not unreasonable. This matter really needs to be cautious." Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned. "What else do you want to do now? There is growing dissatisfaction with the Uchiha clan in the village now. Do you really want the Uchiha clan to defect from the village?" Danzo said coldly, "If they want to defect from the village, they should act first. However, there is no evidence yet, but their suspicion is very strong, so I suggest 24-hour surveillance of all Uchiha people. Make sure they don't have any illicit thoughts." Sarutobi Hiruzen slapped the table and stood up. "Don't take it too far, Danzo said in a deep voice. "This is what must be done for the sake of the village. We can't afford another Nine Tails riot, so seal the child of Nine Tails and give him to me. I will make him grow into a qualified Jinchuuriki." Sarutobi Hiruzen jumped up like a cat whose tail was stepped on. "Someone else's idea. I will never give Minato and Kushina's child to you." Danzo snorted coldly and said, "Then you should protect him well. As for the surveillance of the Uchiha clan, it must be carried out immediately. You." Sarutobi Hiruzen was out of breath, but Midakato Hamura next to him quickly stood up to persuade the fight. "Forget it. Calm down." Yuta Tenkaharu thought for a while and said, "Hiruzen, Danzo's statement is not unreasonable. There are still suspicions of the Uchiha family. Let's monitor for a while. If the Uchiha clan were innocent, we wouldn't have investigated anything." 1 inches. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at his good friends in disbelief. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.